So there was a time in our family's life when we had 4 drivers and 2 vehicles. Made life a little complicated. So Christy needed to get to work, of course, and our daughters went to Meade High School, and so we lived just far enough away that they couldn't walk, but too close that there was no bus. So they needed a vehicle. So of course, Dad, the servant of the family, right? I get to take the bus. So taking the city bus, first of all, is a great anthropological exercise. You see some pretty interesting people on the bus. And so, one thing that I also found out is that my time is not my own, because I can be at the bus stop on time, but when the bus gets to the plaza, and I get off the bus, I see my connecting bus right up there, and I'm hustling along, and there goes the bus. That is one of the worst feelings in the whole wide world. I am the kind of person that I take punctuality pretty seriously, to a pretty anal kind of a degree, I have to admit. And so when that happens, I know I'm going to be late to work. And that happened to me one winter morning, and the bus drove away, and inside I'm just boiling, and I'm going to be late, and I get on the next bus, which doesn't drop me off anywhere really close to the academy. I need to really hike and hustle about 3/4 of a mile then to get to the academy. And so I'm making my way up Hamilton from Trent. And so I'm going to take a shortcut over to where the emissions place is there on South Hamilton, and I'm cutting through. And all of a sudden the car pulls up and the window comes down, and the guy says, "Hey, do you know when the emissions place opens?" So first of all, no, I don't know. I'm just walking through their parking lot. I have no idea. But secondly, I take a look, and it's somebody that I know. You see, when we came back from the mission field, the network asked us if we would be interim pastors for a church that's up on the South Hill. They had been through a church split, and there was real questions about whether the church could survive. And so they asked Christy and I and our family if we would step in and be the interim pastors. And there was a guy and his wife, just beautiful, wonderful people, help in ministering to the children. And a few months before that church ended up closing, this man's wife, she found out that this cancer that she had been in remission from had come back. And so we had prayed hard for her, but I lost touch. And that was this guy. He was in this car. And so I said, "Chris, man, it's so good to see you. And how's things with your lovely wife?" And he says, "Well, she passed away, and I just picked up her ashes. And in this passenger seat, buckled in, was an urn." So side note, how awkward is this conversation all of a sudden, right? Oh my goodness, the ashes are just right there, and all of a sudden I'm torn between my anal proclivity towards needing to be punctual, I'm already super late, and needing to be right here in this moment with Chris. And I just felt the Holy Spirit say, "Look, you're already super late, so what if you're a few more minutes late, right?" And so I just stayed and talked with Chris and loved on him, prayed with him, and just knew in that moment that God had directed my path. He had allowed me to miss that bus that would have made me on time. He prompted me to take a little shortcut through this parking lot so that I could meet this guy at just the right time to minister to him. My friends, God is directing your path these next 4 weeks. And it would be good for us to just approach each moment, each day, with the attitude of a humble servant that says, "God, what do you want to do today? What do you want to accomplish today?"
I just wonder, as we prepare our hearts for Christmas, what parking lot adventure Jesus might have for us. We take moments just to say, "I want to be on mission with you today." Who are those people people are, what those circumstances are, that He wants us to bring His light, His love, His hope. And I know He'll have something for all of us this season.